With your purchase, you get stickers. What is up, guys? Today is the second video on our build series for Seth's Street Bob, and as you can tell, he's super excited. We actually have all of our parts together for the full build, so we will actually be done, hopefully, this weekend. But for you guys, the videos will come out a little slower, so ignore that. Anyway, what we're gonna be putting on Seth's Street Bob today is Legend suspension. Now, I'm looking forward to this. I run Legends on my bike, and I love them. I think they do a great job, plus they have great customer service. So with the Street Bob, it should be a very simple install. Shouldn't take us more than 30 minutes to an hour, but you know how that goes. I also want to throw out there that Legend did hook us up with the suspension, but that doesn't mean I'm going to give them a good review if it's not a good product. I love my suspension, and I think Seth's going to love his too. So let's go ahead and get it on there. Your spanner wrench is important for adjusting your shocks once you get them on there. When we take a look at the shocks themselves, obviously we have solid quality from a very good company. Beautiful, right? It is a mono shock because Seth's is a Softail, and the Softail only has one shock, hence mono. You do have your adjustment up here for your rebound. These are 13-inch, so it should raise Seth's bike up about an inch. What you doing? All right, so the first thing with installing your new Legend suspension is to grab the instructions and throw them away. I'm just kidding. That sometimes works, but in this case, I think you guys really should take a look at the instructions. The install is pretty straightforward, so there's not much to it. But when it comes to actually adjusting your shocks, you're gonna wanna know how to do that. So another thing you'll need is a jack stand of any sort. You don't need a big one, you just need a simple jack stand because you are gonna have to level out that rear tire to make it easy to pull out the old shock. And then when you put the new one in, you also need to level it out. So let's go ahead and get it taken apart. In this case, with the Street Bobs, you have your seat bolt right here. You're just gonna wanna pull that out. I'll get that in a second. So if you guys wanna look in here, what we have is a bolt right here, which is the top of your original shock. And then we're gonna have these two little bolts or nuts, if you will. I guess they're bolts. And that holds this little cross member here. So we're gonna pull this off in order to get to our shock. As far as the other bolt, it's on this side. I'll show you guys when I take it off, but for right now, just trust me, it's on this side. And it's pretty easy to get to because they actually put a hole in the frame. So we'll get to that, but for right now, I'm gonna start with taking off the little frame that goes across here. You want to have your tire as level as you can so that when you unscrew all this, it's not binding. It'll make it a lot easier, and you'll understand what I'm saying when you start to unbolt it. If it feels really tight, that's because you have tension on your shock. So just adjust your jack stand and you'll be good. All right, so I was hoping that we wouldn't have to remove the fender in order to get to this little bolt here, but it looks like we're gonna have to do it, which isn't a problem anyway because we have another project where we're gonna be taking the blinkers and the license plate and doing something different. We're actually gonna be drilling into his fender. So it works anyway, so let's pop that off. All right, if you guys are wondering, it's only 4 bolts right here and on this side, and then you will have to remove your blinkers and your tail light, but you just unplug those and move it off. It should be pretty simple. So we got it off of there, 4 bolts. You just kind of wiggle it, jiggle it out of there. And I wanted to show you guys this. So I wanted to just unbolt the fairing from here, or I mean the fender. However, there's a bolt all the way on the inside, which you can't get to. So I'm gonna hand that over to Seth, and we'll finish our Legend suspension here. And you guys can see what we couldn't get to with the fender in the way. Now, look at that. I can get to it no problem. So you only have to loosen this up a little bit, and then you'll be able to take out the bolt holding the bottom of the shock. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and pull out our stock shock. And it's that easy. You can see that there's gonna be just about an inch rise once we get these guys installed on there. Now reinstalling this is gonna be fairly simple. It's just like taking it out. But because we do have the lift, or the longer shock, I am gonna have to lift the back of the bike up to take the pressure off here and let it sag a little more. So I'll show you guys here in real time what we're doing. So as you guys can see, it doesn't fit right now. Now watch when I lift up the rear end. See how it moves back? And that's how we can get these to fit in exactly where we want. You're gonna want to put some Loctite on there, so I'm gonna go grab some Loctite real quick before I throw this back in. Okay, so get your top bolt in first, and then go ahead and move to the back bolt. It'll make it a lot easier to set up. And remember, you got to have your rebound adjustment on the top here. Okay, and don't forget to go ahead and tighten back down this bolt that pinches on your bottom nut or bottom bolt here. So now obviously you're going to want to torque that to factory specs per the instructions. One last piece we got to put on is the cross member, and we're going to go ahead and put that back there because it's not going to affect our fender in any way. So we'll get that on there. All right, so I'm going to take you down here. So we have everything tightened back up. Like I said, we're not going to put our fender on for right now, but I wanted to go through a few things here. With your rebound, they give you a adjustment, I guess, setting that you can go based off of. So you have 5 different settings. You're going to pick from it. Yes, they give you an idea of what you can use here, weight-wise, but I think it's best to get out there and ride and figure out what you like. And that's that, guys. All right, guys, so that is going to be it for the Legend Suspension monoshock install on Seth's Street Bob. We do have to adjust it still, but we're going to wait till we have everything else on the bike to do that. So that'll probably be in a later video, just a quick little one. Again, thank you, Legend, for sending us this monoshock. It's going to make the rides amazing, and we're going to get some good miles on them. We'll see you guys on the next one.